Hi everybody, I'm Rebecca Virginia, and today I have another Dollar Tree spring and Easter video to share with all of you. I didn't even realize it until I was putting all of my crafts together, but all of them have to do with bunnies, so these are perfect for not only Easter, but the spring season as well. First up, let's get started with this carrot patch craft. I absolutely love our little bunny who took a dive into the carrot patch and is enjoying some delicious treats. I really love using the wood crates from the Dollar Tree in so many different projects. You can pick this up in the Crafter's Square section with the other wood supplies. For this one, I'm actually going to be using it as a crate as it's intended. A lot of times I'll flip it upside down and use it as a faux book stack, but in this case, I was just painting it, and the color of this paint, it's by Waverly and it's in the color Pool. It's a really nice pastel blue. I've actually had it on my shelf for about 6 months and finally decided to use it for the spring season. I did use my cutting machine to cut out the words Farm Fresh Carrot Patch, but you could always just write that in with a Sharpie or a paint pen, or even use some of the rub-on letter transfers that the Dollar Tree has. Next up, I'm going to start filling my crate, and I just grabbed some of the floral foam that you can also find at the Dollar Tree, and I'm just lining all of this up into our crate so then I can put down some Spanish moss and of course our little bunny butt. This is so cute. I picked this up almost 2 years ago now, and I never figured out what to really do with it for a DIY. I actually had it in my paper towel holder in my kitchen because that was just a cute decor piece, but I really wanted to actually craft with it this year, so I did place it down. I'm going to be having it in the corner of the crate, but I wanted to fill it with some of this greenery and Spanish moss first to kind of set the scene for our carrot patch. I have to be honest with you, I love the way the little greenery pieces and the Spanish moss look, but it's such a nightmare to craft with because when you pull it apart, it goes in the air, you get dust, I start coughing. It's kind of a disaster and so messy to craft with, but it really does create the perfect base for our carrot patch, so I kind of let that slide. I also added a little fence that is part of a Dollar Tree wood truck. I just went ahead and ripped that off and placed it on the back of our crate so it really looked like the bunny was getting into a farmer's fenced off carrot area. Then some of the jute carrots, there's actually just foam that the jute is wrapped around. So I cut about halfway and a little bit more than halfway on some of the carrots so that it really looked like they were growing out of our carrot patch. You could also have just kind of stuck the carrots down in there, but I found it was just easier to cut them and then hot glue. I also added a little wood carrot to the front of our sign. Those came in a large pack from the Dollar Tree. And then lastly, this was supposed to be a farmer's carrot area. So I did take a little bit of my dark brown paint and just dirty everything up. So it really did kind of look more like a farm. Like I mentioned earlier, all of the crafts in today's video are bunny themed, so we are moving into our bunny wood block. I know that the Dollar Tree sells wood pieces now, but I was very lucky. My future father-in-law has a whole scrap wood pile, so he very kindly cut me out this wood block. But you can also use items around your house, an old tissue box, or maybe an old cardboard box that held some granola bars. You can definitely get creative with this one. You really just need something that is going to be able to stand up on its own. So of course, to start off, we are painting our block white so that it will go with our bunny theme. But if you guys know me, I love the farmhouse look, so of course I had to dirty and rough up the block. I really like using the Waverly stain in the color Antique. That is how I usually do my farmhouse look. Then it was time to make the bunny's ears. I used a chalk pen that I have picked up from Dollar Tree to trace out the ear shape, and then once I cut those out, I hadn't realized that I had my burlap bag folded, so I got 2 sets of ears instead of just one. So I'll definitely be saving these for a future project. I wanted my ears to be polka dots, so I just took the back of one of the paintbrushes that I had, dipped that into some white paint, and basically used that as a large dotter tool to dot on my polka dots. Then I'm creating one of my favorite bows to make. It's so easy. You just make a loop and pinch in the center, but I wanted to add a little bit something extra, so I did take some lace ribbon. This was from the Farmhouse collection the Dollar Tree came out with a while ago, but they have this lace ribbon in stock all the time. I always keep picking it up. So I wanted that to go on the inside of the bow. I trimmed it down a little bit so you would be able to see that burlap ribbon as well, and soon I'll be adding that to my bunny. But first, for the nose and the whiskers, I'm using some raffia for the whiskers and a small natural wood bead for the nose. So the only tricky part was making sure I could thread a good amount of the raffia through the bow because some of it wasn't coming through. But other than that, it was pretty simple. And then I just cut it down to size and kind of fluffed out the whiskers to make them not all go in one direction, kind of make them actually look like whiskers. Then I hot glued my burlap ears to the back of the wood block. And of course, we had to add on some bunny eyes. So I just took a Sharpie first to kind of draw out where I wanted the eyes. Then I went in with my hot glue, now that I knew where the eyes were going to be placed, and placed down the nose with his little whiskers. I hot glued down the bow into place at a slight angle in the top left-hand side of the bunny block. And I liked the Sharpie eyes, but I did want them to be a bit more pronounced. So I went in with my daughter tool. I always get a lot of questions about this. I have it linked down below in my Amazon shop. They also sell it at Dollar Tree, and I just went in with some black paint to make the eyes a little bit more bold. The next craft is a Dollar Tree twist on a way to store some of your sweet treats for the Easter season. In this case, I am using some delicious, may I add, Skittles jelly beans that I actually picked up at Target. To start off this DIY, I grabbed one of the ceramic bunnies that is in the Dollar Tree, usually in the Easter section up at the front of the store, and I think it's considered a kid's craft because it looks like it had little paints that came with it and like a little kid's paintbrush, but this is actually a great item that you can turn high-end by taking some metallic paint and painting the entire bunny. Now it kind of looks like a bunny that you would actually find in the Target Easter section. I knew I wanted to cover the lid of this soon-to-be candy jar with some fabric, but couldn't decide on what kind. I had some pastel stripe fabric, some plain white, but I did end up going with the black and white gingham. I placed a little bit of Mod Podge onto the top of our lid and then just laid down the fabric and waited a few minutes for that to dry. Then once it did, before I cut away any of the excess fabric, I grabbed some jute and just tied that around and made a little bow at the center of our lid. Because I did the Mod Podge only on the top of the lid and then just tied the jute around it, I won't have to worry about screwing on and unscrewing the lid and having the fabric get stuck. Then I wanted to add a little element that tied in the gold figurine to the jute. So I put two small natural wood beads at the bottom of the strings or tails of our bow. And then I did go in with a small paintbrush and paint those using the same metallic gold so that it would match the bunny figurine on top. The last step in this sweet candy jar DIY was to hot glue the clay bunny figurine to the top of our jar. Now you have an adorable way to display all of those fun colored jelly beans. This bunny bottle DIY is actually a bonus DIY, if you will. I wasn't planning on doing it in this video, but I saw in my to recycle section this bottle and thought that it would make a great DIY. I rarely throw away bottles. They are very great for crafting. I'm not sure how that one got into the recycling bin, and it's actually one of my favorite bottles. It's the Aldi Sparkling Pink Lemonade. I get it for kind of special occasions or if I'm hosting book club or something. So I do have this bottle fairly often. So if you're a lemonade lover like me, pick it up at your Aldi or even Lidl has it. So to start off, we don't want a plain glass bottle, so I completely painted it in some white Waverly chalk paint. Then I had the idea to use the bunny bags for the ears. In my head, the bunny bags had pink ears on the center of them, but when I actually pulled them out of the plastic bag, I realized they didn't, so I knew that I would have to do a little bit further DIY on them. I cut them out to be the matching bunny shape that I wanted, and then I went in with some pink paint on my own. This is the section I thought was already on the bunny bags, but obviously I was wrong. The shade is Ballet Slipper by Waverly, so I painted the insides of the bunny ears and let that dry. Then there was a big hunk of label that I could not get off of this bottle, so to not only cover it up but add a little design to this DIY, I took some white bunny paper and just placed that all around the bottle, and I just tied it in the back with some tape. I am going to have this bunny face and little bunny feet available for you all to print down below. I'll put it in a Canva link. I did use my cutting machine and vinyl for this, but you could cut out the picture that, again, I will link below and just glue it onto your bottle. The bunny face would not be complete without a girly bow, and I couldn't decide between this satin white or between the lace, so I combined them and then just did a very simple shoelace bow and tied it in the center with some jute. I really liked that plaid one too. I kept going back and forth, but I liked the neutrals, so I just stayed with that and hot glued the ears and the bow onto the bunny bottle. You'll have to let me know in the comments down below, have you ever done a DIY with a recycled bottle? There are so many different ways that you can use them, so let me know in the comments down below, what ways have you used bottles when you're crafting? This DIY is an easy and quick one from last year that I wanted to include because it did have that great bunny image that I thought fit really well into today's video. All that I did was take one of the farmhouse frames from the Dollar Tree and some of this lavender scrapbooking paper that I had and place it in the back of our frame. For a lot of my DIYs, I will take the glass out of the frame, but for this one, because we're using a window cling, I'm going to leave it on. And once I have put my frame back together, you can flip it over, and again, because you have that glass, it will be so easy to attach the window cling on top. As I came across these gorgeous window clings from the Dollar Tree, I hadn't seen these at all, and then last week when I popped in, just when I thought I couldn't find anything new at the Dollar Tree, I found these. And I loved the bunny with the flower crown. I thought it was so cute, so I immediately had an idea to use a window cling in a little bit of a different way. Also, a good tip, if you have a backsplash in your kitchen, if it's like a subway tile, these window clings do stick. I have used that during the holiday season. I put up some window cling gingerbread men from the Dollar Tree. This is a super quick and easy DIY. It doesn't require a lot of work, but it still brings that pop of spring into your home. Thanks for watching. Until next time, keep searching, keep creating.